I'm KB with the Beat. How are you both doing?
Okay.
KB with the beat.
You're living inside Jupiter's legacy.
Wow, I can't bear the fact that there's Andrew Horton looking supreme at us in the corner there, peeping into our monitors.
That's right. He is looming over us all. So I will start with you, Matt. So, the dynamic between your two characters, between George and Walt, is so strained. But I have a feeling as the saga continues, we'll see kind of what the source of that tension is and find out that they might be a bit more alike than we think. So for you, Matt, kind of what do you think George, what do you think that George unexpectedly learns from Walt pre-powers that he carries over to his journey as a superhero?
Gosh, yeah, it's a really great question, and I feel like there's a lot of things to unpack in that question. But I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I do think there are a lot of similarities, maybe on opposite ends of the spectrum, actually. But I do think there's perspective to be learned from Walter's position. He's always kind of been the odd duck out, and I think that George can kind of learn from that. Gosh, it's such a deep question. There's a lot there. I do sort of see them. I think in the same way, I'm sure Ben will tell you that Walter feels like he's kind of on the outside. In some ways, I feel like George feels like he's on the outside, wanting to be a part of the family and kind of never can be. And, all those things make their connection and there's a lot of strain between them. I think he also can't help but to sort of pick on Walt because Walt is affected so badly by it, and it seems so frivolous to George, although it means a great deal to Walt. And I'm sitting here rambling, but anyhow.
No. You actually hit on a couple of good things, but Walt, for you, Ben, Walt is a man of mystery and secrets, but he's also very guarded, and for good reason, because he mostly has been living in the shadows of his younger brother, Sheldon. So can you talk about what Walt's secrets and kind of his complex relationship with their father and Sheldon, how does that kind of inform Walt's choices later on as a superhero once he gets his powers?
I think he feels that he is never listened to. He's the butt of everybody's jokes, and he's a mass of insecurities, as is George. As we were saying, they are very similar in that respect. And I think, now I'm answering the previous question, which was what does he carry over? I think what he learns from George is poker face, basically. I think when we first meet Walt, he's just a mass of all his emotions are there on the surface. And I think he learns to hide that to get what he ultimately wants.
That's great.
Rather vaguely. But I think yes, he's not. He lives in a very alpha male world, and he can't compete with those men. He feels he can't compete with George. He doesn't understand why George, just ribs him the entire time. He can't compete with his brother, who is basically like living with Elvis Presley, who everyone adores, and you're that kind of weird brother that nobody wants to talk to, but is kind of invited along to the party, but people wish he'd leave. Well, that's how he feels anyway. And the father is the same with him. The father adores, he feels, his younger brother more than he does him. So yeah, there's a lot of gristle there that develops somewhat over the years, as we see by the end of the season.
Yes. Well, thank you both, one, for those lovely answers, because there is so much to unpack. I also, too, was trying not to spoil anything. You guys did a great job of not spoiling it as well. But I am looking forward. Yes, but I am looking forward to season 2 and seeing how more of this unfolds, because again, it's a superhero show based on a comic book, of course, but it is also a very deep family drama. So, and I'm digging that aspect for sure. So thank you so much for chatting with The Beat. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.